StarFighter support.
What's going on, ladies and gents? Dangerous here, bringing you guys today the most fortunate news I've ever been able to share with you, because Red 5 is standing by. Now that that is out of the way and I'm sincerely happy with myself, let's talk about the Starfighters in Star Wars Battlefront. Now, I mentioned in the first video I uploaded that came up with the beta that I felt that the controls were hot shit on PC, and I still stand to that. The gameplay that you'll be seeing throughout this footage is mainly recorded from console and PC. Now, there's going to be some times where you see my face that were from the highlight reel from the Twitch stream. That's because the footage was really good there, and for some reason, I couldn't get any good footage after. So, I guess we'll have to settle. So, yeah, I hope that's not too much to ask for you guys. Sorry, but focus on the gameplay. My face is kind of there. On this, I don't know, my face is there. So, the Starfighters. They are exceptional at everything, but have many major flaws that translate between both platforms of console and PC, and some that just strike out mostly on certain platforms, console, and I'm looking at you, PC. The first blatant issue, now I want to get this out of the way, and this happens for a lot of the vehicles, is that the lasers are not aligned properly with the reticule. The AT-ATs, the AT-STs, and the Starfighters, I know, are not properly aligned. Now, some of the turrets suffer from this too, but they're not as drastic. When I'm doing a strafe run, and you will see this coming up, I believe I'm going to tie interceptor, and we're on the last of the base, and I'm trying to strafe their team. You will see my crosshair more than 10 times. Probably exaggerating, but I'm pretty sure it's between 5 to 10 times. I will do a strafe run, and my crosshair will turn red, indicating that I am looking at an enemy. I will shoot at the enemy, and my lasers will not go near the enemy. My missiles will not go near the enemy. My fist is about to go through this fucking monitor. That is the main issue I have with this. The fact that I am not technically shooting at what I think I'm shooting at. This needs to be fixed immediately. Even on the other vehicles, like the AT-ST and the AT-ATs, yeah, there's splash damage more on their lasers, and yeah, the AT-ATs are more, you know, hostile in the environment, that they can spawn trap a lot easier. But still, if you're aiming at something, you're aiming at something. You know, they already have input delay and all this yucky lag to balance them out. Let them be balanced like that. I want proper reticule. I think everyone does, no matter how much bullshit comes along with it. It's proper. It's how it's supposed to be. It's how the skilled become more skillful. It's how the worst become better. I think that came out right. But yes, it's a main issue. It needs to be fixed immediately. It's the biggest issue so far with all the vehicles and the Starfighters. But now let's talk about each individual Starfighter. Starting off with the fucking beast himself, the X-Wing. That's right. I am the biggest X-Wing fan in goddamn existence. I have so many Legos, models, you name it, man. I got it. I've got X-Wings for days. And I love the things, especially in Star Wars Battlefront. I love their entrance, how they open up to an attack position, and oh my god, thinking about it, I'm getting a little giddy. Now, the Rebel Starcraft. This includes both the A-Wing and the X-Wing, not the Snowspeeder. That will be in its own separate entity at the end. These two both have the ability to, it gives you a temporary shield from missiles incoming, and it will, I believe the missile one does like 5 damage, and then the lasers are deflected. And then also gives you the proton torpedoes, which lock on, and you can hit ground targets with dumbfire, or you can smack some TIE fighters / interceptors in their big stupid face. I like smacking things in their big stupid face. Now, with many things that go along with that, don't get me wrong, the shield isn't that overpowered. It's really like the personal shield, where it lasts for a couple seconds, takes damage, and it goes away. I think like it goes away even after the missiles Like, I think the missiles technically kill it and do a little more damage to you. So, perfectly fine with me. They're balanced fine. It saves you once it recharges. It's just like the personal shield, except you don't need the charges, which works for me. I haven't found an issue with it. You know, don't shoot, obviously. It's a defensive measure. Now, talking about that, I'm going to go now separately talk about how the two planes handle. The X-Wing, I have to say, is definitely my favorite for handling. Not because I'm a fanboy, I just prefer the handling off the clone of itself. I like the way it turns, I like the way it controls. It feels a lot more natural when you go upside down. I know on consoles you can actually do, say, a backflip naturally without doing the command. You can actually just pull back on the control stick and you'll actually invert, unlike on PC where it's very difficult to, because PC is its own issue, which I'll talk about at the end. So it just controls well, it feels a lot better. I like the snappiness of it. It's definitely my preferred one, and the TIE Fighter falls in the same movement category. Now let's talk about the A-Wing. The A-Wing is the interceptor class, if I'm not mistaken, and I feel like they should honestly be switched around, because the A-Wing and the TIE Interceptor are made to be the fast intercepting ships that shoot down everything and cover everyone else. But for some reason, they play the other way around. They kind of handle a little bit more sluggishly, in my opinion. They take a little bit longer to do things. They still kill just as fast, but they're better at ground attack, in my personal opinion. I don't see how that's a good idea, or how that fits true to the Star Wars legacy. I know that the A-Wings are interceptors, and the TIE Interceptor is meant to intercept aircraft. So maybe DICE should look into flipping the two skins around, or maybe just make them all feel relatively the same. Maybe with some minor differences, like say the A-Wings can go faster and the TIE Interceptors can go faster, but the X-Wings can do more damage with their blasters and the TIE Fighters. Something like that should definitely be looked into. I'm talking about ground for the X-Wing and the TIE Fighter. That should definitely be looked into. Now let's talk about the TIE class. The TIE class, instead of their shield like the X-Wings get, they get a super speed boost. Now people are saying, oh, this speed boost sucks, what the fuck, the X-Wings get a shield. Well, actually, it kind of does the same thing. And if you're actually a good pilot, it's better. The speed boost will actually allow you to maneuver so quickly that you could actually get out of a firefight, avoid the missile with the pure speed, come back around from a different angle, and successfully take out your target. Per se, you're not engaged with someone who is excellent as well. It's all about how you use the X-Wings and the TIE Fighters and each their ability that's important in the Star Wars beta, or else you're going to look like a dumbass up there who's going to hold his brakes down until he can get a clear shot. And yes, I've done that multiple times in the footage, and I learned from that mistakes because it's really awkward when that happens, because these things actually turn on dimes when you have your speed all the way down, and you will get butt-fucked. They will destroy you. Now let's talk about how the controls feel. As I've already stated multiple times, the PC, it feels very limited. It actually just feels like it's correcting you more than you're controlling it. On the console, with the sticks, it's much more enjoyable, and you can actually even do some more maneuverabilities, which adds one more layer. You can actually properly kind of do an invert roll, instead of, you know, just with this mouse where it's kind of like, okay, tug, and it's like, fuck you. It's awkward. You have to keep lifting your mouse, and I don't know, it's weird. I've tried different sensitivities, I've tried everything. I just can't get the same feel I do when I play on the console. Now, that per se, definitely something needs to be looked at for the PC. The button layout's just meh. Everything just kind of needs to be a bit better. Honestly, I feel that maybe instead of having F1, 2, and 3 as your maneuver on the PC key, what if you just double tap the key? Like, what if I just went and hit A twice, and that allowed me to barrel roll sideways like how it does on the PC version for Battlefront 2, and then S does the backwards, and then E does, or D would do the other way if you just double tap it. Now I understand someone could do that by accident, so maybe if there's something else you could look into, DICE. Definitely something needs to be done about that, because F1, 2, and 3 don't feel natural. Obviously you can keybind things, but still, just, I don't know. I guess, yeah, you could keybind it to different things, but it could be better. Unlike on the console, on the controller, where at least on the Xbox One, you just have to hit the D-pad, and it's like, oh, wee, look at that, it's gone, yeah, woo, backflips and shit. It's much more controllable, much better in my opinion. I don't know, it's just personal preference, I guess. If you can really find something comfortable to map the maneuverability keys, then I say go for it. If not, it's fine, I guess, because I just can't really think of something comfortable to load out with. I don't know, that's just kind of my thing. So lastly, I want to talk about the ground efficiency. Now I know I talked about their accuracy and whatnot earlier with the whole reticule thing, but more importantly, now I actually want to get on the point when you actually start hitting shit with these things. And might I say, these things are freaking amazing. I can take out ATSDs, AT-ATs when their shields are down, infantry when, you know, everything aligns, and it's actually effective. Like, there's actually one part where I get a triple strafe run. I was like, hello, and then I crashed into someone. There's actually, I didn't record it, but I jumped up with a jetpack and got roadkill by a strafing TIE fighter. I felt like an asshole. It was terrific. But, you know, it's just a lot of fun when you ground attack. Now, as soon as they fix that reticule issue, there'll be so many more skilled pilots coming out, so many skilled pilots on release, hopefully, if this is fixed, absolutely decimating the fields with proper air superiority, and we'll definitely see a big advantageous change into the Walker Assault. Obviously, it's not hard hit the Walker, because the thing is literally the size of, like, Canada, and if you miss that, well, then you might want to turn your monitor on, because it's probably off. Anyways, gents, I hope you all, ladies and gents, I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Tell me what you guys think of the StarCraft and vehicles down below in the comment section. And, you know, I really hope that Fighter Squadron turns out really good, because I'll be probably playing a shit ton of that. Anyways, guys, I'm Dangerous, and I'll see all you sexy beasts in the next episode. And may the Force be with you all.
We got Death Star, 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 we got Death Star.